Lesson 2.3, Estimating Sums and Differences. I know you guys have a lot going on in such a short 3-day weekend, so I'm going to make this quick. Let's first start out with vocabulary. The first word is addend. That's a word that you probably have never heard before because I know it's a little bit new, but it's really simple once you get the idea. Each number in an addition problem is called an addend. And be careful, I don't mean each digit. It's each number. So let's look at this. 23 plus 31. 23 is one addend and 31 is the other. Real simple. Excuse me, the second one is compatible numbers. These are a little bit more tricky. They're numbers that are close to the original number and easily manipulative. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this example. 237 plus 265. I'm looking here and I know that this is close to 230 and this is close to 270. So I'm going to change my numbers to that because I know that 3 and 7 are compatible, that when I'm adding them, I can add them together and get 10 really easily. So I know that that's going to, my tens column will equal 10. So I'll have 2 plus 2 plus one more from my compatible numbers, and that'll give me about 500. Let's look at this a little bit more, starting with the first way, rounding each addend. Now it's really important that you round the addends and not your answer. Your answer will be rounded because of the addends, but you don't want to find the exact number and then round it. That's silly. So let's look here. If I have 531 plus 398, I'm going to round each one to the hundreds position. So we're looking right here. We go one digit to the right of the rounding place, and that's a 3. Since 3 is less than 5, I'm going to leave that 5 alone, and so it rounds to 500. My 398, 3 is my rounding place, so I go one spot over to 9. Since 9 is greater than 5, it's going to bump up to 400. So now I look at 531 plus 398. That's tough to do mentally, but I bet all of you can do 500 plus 400 equals 900 in your head. So rounding is just one way to make things a lot easier. And you know what? Your answer is going to be pretty close. Let's look at a second way, is using compatible numbers. If I have 286 plus 321, it's almost like rounding, guys, but we're going to look at kind of a different number. We're going to look at the tens position. I can see that 8 and 2 are compatible when adding together. So I'm going to change 286 to 280 and 321 to 320. And then I can just add it. 0 plus 0, 8 plus 2 is 10, carry the 1. And I have 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 3 is 6. So let's look at the practice. 49 plus 22. I'm going to round to the nearest tenth. So I look at my 4, go one digit over to the 9. Since 9 is greater than 5, that gets rounded to 50. For this one, I move over to the 2. Since 2 is less than 5, that stays down at 20. 50 plus 20 equals 70. Number 2, 108 minus 62. I'm going to do this one looking at the tens position. Move over to the 8. Since 8 is greater than 5, that's going to bump up to 110. In 62, I'm going to move over to the 2. Since 2 is less than 5, that's going to stay at 60. Notice how I rounded from the same place value in each one. That's going to make things a little bit easier for you. And then we have 110 minus 60 equals 50. It's really important that you don't forget what the operation is from the beginning. Don't do all of this and then add 110 plus 60. That's going to mess you up. Make sure you always include the original operation. This last one, 43.81 plus 12.9. Now I'm not going to, in this case I'm going to use more compatible numbers. I'm not going to just round it. I know that 3 and 2 add up to 5 really easily. and that's a number that I can manipulate in my head. So I'm going to just make this 43.81. I'm going to turn it into just 43. And 12.9 I'm going to turn into just 12. And I know that 43 plus 12 equals 55. Those are just different ways to manipulate your numbers so that you can do them in your head. If you have any questions, please make sure you ask on Tuesday, and have a great night.